Today, unlike it has been in the past, we are going to be having a conversation, and our devotion is going to be online. Our study today comes from the book of 2 Kings chapter 5, verses 1 through 25, and basically it is the little story of Naaman, and under the topic of experiencing God under personal turbulence. Experiencing God while in personal turbulence. Let's first create a scenario. Who is Naaman? His position, Naaman is a captain of the king of Syria. He is second in command. So he's a very well-elevated person. He is a very popular in terms of prestige. The Bible records that he was a good man, together with a good reputation with his master. He was highly respected. He enjoyed the favor of the king of the day. And that is a good thing to be. But he had a simple problem. The Bible records that he had leprosy. It is interesting that even as we are during this particular time of COVID, we enjoyed a good working relationship with our bosses. We would have been able to have good experiences with our masters and even our businesses plan. But now here comes the problem. We have COVID. COVID is now with us. Days are gone when it used to be out there. Days are gone when it used to be with other people. All of us are either infected or affected. So what does that mean to us today? It means that there are some lessons we need to learn from that. Lesson number one, when waiting upon God, we need to realize that there are some wrong places we should not go. Even during this COVID time, as places that we have been able to be advised to keep off, we should be able to avoid them. Number two, God's message is very simple. Just like it was in the biblical times, on matters of illness and matters of social distancing, the message of God is as simple as it meant it to be. Think for a moment. In Exodus chapter 30, God mentioned to his people that when they had a pandemic that had crept into the land, they should wash their hands, they should wear masks, they should keep their social distances, and they should be able to quarantine themselves. And we want to say, even during this particular time of COVID, let us be able to make sure that the message is very simple, that we should be able to follow. But number three, in the little story of Naaman, we also need to realize that the way God works is totally different from how men work. God said to Naaman, dip yourself in the river Jordan 7 times. It's not just simple, but it worked out differently. Because even Naaman is wrestling with the idea, will it work? Why don't I just go to our own rivers, which are far much better and possibly cleaner and hygienic than the ones which we are having on this end? We just want to let everybody know that God works not just in simple ways, but we should be able to realize that the way we think, it is not the way God works his plan. But finally, the little things that we ignore, they may be very costly. The little things, the little instructions that we ignore may be very costly. And this is the little story that we get from Naaman's story about his own servant, Gehazi, when he ignored just that little thank you from Naaman to Elisha. He said, I have to go back and collect something little behind from the servant who has just left. Church, I want to encourage us that always remember, little ignorance, little off-the-cuff directions, they can be very, very dangerous. The consequences are dire. And therefore, during this particular time of pandemic, we want to make sure that we also observe all the rules as a church, as we continue to observe and waiting for the next direction. Naaman reminds us that God is still in control, even in our situation. God bless you.